Hello, Saints Nation. Welcome back to the Saints Gaming CA channel, where we are about to just get started with the second UCEA Overwatch playoff matchup. Our team's in the top 8, and it's going to be a tough one to move forward from here. Of course, our St. Clair College squad's going up against the University of North Texas. This is a matchup that we have seen during the regular season, and the last time that we had the opportunity to play them, it didn't go so hot for the side of St. Clair. We did get 2-0'd in that matchup, so they have to see what's changed in the last little bit to give St. Clair the opportunity to move forward, move into the top 4. Which, I mean, they're on a fantastic run already, but being able to go even further from that, get the upset here today would absolutely be glorious. Of course, my name's Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danners here. Hi, I'm your stream producer here at St. Clair College for the Saints Gaming program, and looking forward to having this match and commentating and broadcasting it to you guys all here as we get ready. Everyone's getting into the lobby. But before we do hop into game number 1, of course, let's take a look at our starting roster here for this side of St. Clair College. Leading the charge with all the disruption in the world, we're going to have Corey Levesque and Colin Moore. That's Prince Wada and Seymour on the tank role. Bringing the damage, the heavy artillery of sorts, we do have Zachary Schreier and Hussein Hammam. That's going to be bailable, and Strider. And keeping everybody topped off and making the additional plays and bringing all the utility on the support side of things. We do have Justin Veltman and Matthias Itzen. That's Justin and Apostle. Of course, the squad that we've been watching for pretty much this entire season so far. Looking to see what they can do with the help of their coach, of course, Vintage Anthony Quagiotto, as we look forward to this matchup. Everyone's just still getting into the lobby, so it'll be a brief moment. But of course, we had a good one. I think it was 2 days ago. It was on Tuesday, where we had the opportunity to play our first playoff match versus Augustana University, and that one was pretty quick, to say the least. I know that one was on the UCEA channel themselves, and the Saints put themselves ahead nice and strong with the quick 3-0 in that set. But of course, up against the wall here versus University of North Texas. Do have their roster beside me here. Let's take a look. So we have Aqua, Elias, Aspect, Medix, Mediocre. I think that's how it is. It's mediocre with an X, but we'll call him mediocre, even though he's probably not mediocre in the slightest. Gatsby and Joe. One of the things, of course, always interesting with these esports broadcasts is trying to get everybody their proper pronunciations on their tag. Some people like to make it easy for me, and I definitely appreciate that, but some really like to give me a hard time whether they know it or not, but it's kind of funny nonetheless. But of course, game number 1, it's going to be on Ilias. No Oasis this time, at least not to start things off. And then unlike the UCEA regular season where all the matches were best of 3s, the playoffs are best of 5. So similar to other league formats that we've seen so far in this semester. And of course, before we hop into game number 1, once again, I do want to thank the sponsors that do make this all possible. Of course, that is St. Clair College, of course, Supplement School of Business and IT, EC Outlet, Tim Hortons, St. Clair College's Student Representative Council, the SRC, and of course, St. Clair Alumni Association. Thank you all for making this possible, and thank you once again to everybody tuning in, supporting your team, supporting your squad here as they look to pursue these playoff matches further and further. Just getting confirmations for readies. We do have everybody in the lobby, so it should not be much longer here before we get started. Apparently, from what I understand, I was doing a little bit of research before the matchup. There may have been a few changes that came down the pipeline in Overwatch to really mess up the team compositions that some of these teams have been working with for the past little bit, including from what I'm understanding, because I got the opportunity to hop into the Overwatch team's chat a little bit before, and they were saying how it's looking like it's going to be, or it's possibly going to be, a more one-size-fits-all, one composition fits all kind of meta back around the corner. Of course, we were pretty lucky for the last little while after the number crunch, where everybody, like all the heroes, got all balanced out again, that it's been an extremely diverse competition. But that may not necessarily be the case moving forward, but we'll have to see. As we get ready, you could probably hear it in the background. We're ready to hop into game number 1. As we now have, of course, University of North Texas versus St. Clair College. Ilias going to start us off here once again. Of course, quarterfinals. We're in the top 8, and the championship glory is not too far away. And if Saints, of course, win tonight, they will get the opportunity to play on Saturday as well. Keep things going. And yes, the well going to be the capture point for this first attack, as we do see this gigantic square. We're going to have to hang on to that, start gaining some percent. But that being said, you'll probably see some characters with a little bit of crowd control try and push some players into that well. It's a nice, easy way to try and find yourself a quick elimination or two, as we do right along with Seymour as we go in for the very first attack. And we can see just similar to what the team was describing in the chat. So they're playing a more Orisa Sigma, which was something that we've seen a little bit earlier in the season. A little bit more common back then. But having so many shields, being able to essentially make the bunker composition, while Strider is going to try and snipe people off. Available on that McCree, going to try and make something happen too, but Elias is going to be the first one to find the elimination. Strider going to go down. Yustin trying to keep everybody topped off, but this first team fight is not looking good for the Saints. Apostle got knocked right into the well, so even though full health, he is going to be taken out of this fight. This first capture is going to go over to the University of North Texas rather quickly, and St. Clair is going to be forced to regroup. I mean, the bunker composition is good, but it does definitely rely on the fact of making sure you can actually find yourself in a position to set up. If you're all split up, the bunker composition does absolutely nothing. And we do have some very hard to deal with DPS members on the side of University of North Texas, where Aspect on the Soldier 76 and Mediocre on the Echo, extremely mobile characters, but it does not matter if you stand still for a brief second and let Strider pop off. He's going to find himself a quick double, and this is going to quickly swing this into the favor of St. Clair. It would look like, as they're going to start moving up and putting that bunker onto the point. A little bit split still, Prince Wada on the other side, but the only one left here is that's Hammond. Aqua hanging on by a thread, trying to contest, but it does not matter. The point does, in fact, flip over. And then it's going to be Aspect. Of course, he's able to heal himself out, so he doesn't mind taking a little bit of poke damage if necessary. Strider has Dragon Strike available. Yustin has that Amplification Matrix as well. And here comes the aim hacks from the side of Aspect. But that Dragon Strike is going to try and go right through him. Is it going to be effective enough? It's not going to be the case. They tried to use Yustin's invulnerability fields, but it does not matter. Strider got picked out, and so far, everybody on the side of St. Clair seems to be falling down. Not blowing too many ultimates, but at the same time, there's still a lot on the table here for the University of North Texas, so they're going to take that back very quickly. We might find ourselves a bit of a back-and-forth matchup here. Available with Deadeye ready if he can find himself a spot, but this is going to probably have to get him to move away from his group, which could leave him absolutely wide open. We'll have to see how he decides to play that, as the bunker comp is kind of split up once again. Seymour going to get close to the capture point itself, but we're now at 75% on the scoreboard here. Yustin falls rather quickly, actually. The hook coming out from Elias, and it's going to be successful at shutting down one of the huge members. And that's another hook coming out from Elias. Available going down. Still has that Deadeye on tax, but he might be running out of time. Strider sent flying, essentially. Everybody from St. Clair forced off the point. 90-something percent, 95 left on the clock. Is anybody going to be able to contest? Emergency Hammonds coming out as well. Apostle sacrifices himself to make sure that he can get to that. And we do see Justin pops the damage amplification and was able to do some decent damage, but Aqua trading back and forth. Bailable has been a non-factor so far in this match, it does seem like. And the AMAX coming out here once again, that attack visor, and it's going to clean everything up. Aspect tearing through the St. Clair squad with that ultimate, and it's going to give them that first point here for game number 1. I mean, that first part was a little bit back and forth, but after University of North Texas were able to hang on and get another good team fight, they were not going to let up after that. They successfully take it back from St. Clair and make it look easy. Second time around, this little building is going to be our capture point for the next round. Let's see if St. Clair can make this change and make it happen. They're actually opting against the bunker composition this time by putting Strider back on that Sombra, something we've seen him on pretty consistently throughout this season. Available going to pick up the Soldier. We don't see this too much from him. Might be a new pickup. Seymour back on the Diva, pretty consistent. And Justin gets picked out again. Joe on the Zenyatta, finding the shots necessary. Of course, Zenyatta, a bit of a slower healer. Now, how did Bailable get picked off by that? A huge hook actually coming out from Elias. St. Clair in position to try and capture this, but it may not be for long. As soon as North Texas decides to charge on in, they're going to just clean this up. And that's exactly what we see happen here. They're going to be able to take that pretty well uncontested. We see North Texas squad ready to go and Aqua in position. Going to end up switching back over to this bunker composition, but with Strider now on an Echo. Curious to see how this one will turn out. We've seen Strider and Bailable both pick up the Echo, but it will not matter if you get hooked out right away. And positioning seemed to have been a bit of a flaw. We see Mediocre there. Pulse Bomb is ready as well. He finds his opportunity. This could be deadly, and Justin going to go down once again. The solid bomb from Mediocre. Aspect finding himself another kill as well, and it's just looking absolutely brutal here for this St. Clair squad. Elias is just picking everybody out with these hooks, being an absolute disruption machine, and finding Seymour as well. Tried to run for the spawn room and just was not able to get back in time. It's going to waste some additional time here on this clock. 50% uncontested so far here for University of North Texas. We got the rally coming out for Apostle, keeping everybody alive with as much armor as possible, but it's still too much to keep Seymour up. He's going to go down rather quickly. They get Elias, but Gatsby just says, no, get back in here, man. You're not done yet. And just gets him revived and ready to go. Puts out the whole hog as well. Going to push everybody from St. Clair away from the point. But the kill onto Gatsby might be the turning point here in this fight. Joe's up on the high ground, but there is Aspect with the attack visor ready to go. Of course, locking on to everybody. Just can spray and pray at that point. Bailable not long for this world. Mediocre going to clean that one up. Still 3 members of St. Clair trying to contest this, and they are on the point. However, there's still so many members of University of North Texas that this is probably not going to go in their favor in the slightest. Francois is there. He's going to be able to pop some barriers as well. But how long can you stall this for? He's going to try and absorb everything. St. Clair going to get cleaned out. Emergency Tracer coming out as well as an Emergency Doomfist. But I don't think you're going to be able to 1v6 this one. And game number 1, in rather convincing fashion, kind of picking up where they left off a little bit. University of North Texas looking good here in this first match of the best of 5.
Play of the game.
Oh, ain't that adorable. Aqua getting himself the play of the game. Of course, just being able to bunker bust this composition, push everybody aside. That's how Apostle got knocked into the well, actually. So solid play overall from Aqua and the rest of the University of North Texas taking game number 1. And that one was definitely a rough one, to say the least, for the St. Clair squad, but hoping that we can bring this back for game number 2 and onwards. It is now their map selection. So we may see something now that this is the escort map. So this is going to be something like Junkertown or Dorado or a map like that, where we've seen. I know Junkertown, for the most part, we've seen success. There has been, of course, a few, but it is what it is. I'm very curious as to see what they are going to end up picking for their map. It might take a briefest of moments, so we're going to take ourselves a very quick break. Keep myself hydrated here as we go for a long day, because this is going to be an amazing amount of matches here today. Of course, we still have the remainder of this UCEA Overwatch. There's also Rocket League after this. There is so much content coming out, and I want to see our Saints push through here in these UCEA Overwatch playoffs. I'm sure they're not happy with just the top 8 just yet. So we'll be right back within 2 to 3 minutes for game number 2.